Facebook family, coming to you live from Mableton. Wanted to log in tonight. Ran into some technical difficulties. Couldn't get out to the studio. Got a pretty bad storm that's coming through. So I pulled over to the my local Dunkin' Donuts. And, you know, I didn't want to leave y'all hanging, so I said, you know what I'm saying, whatever it takes. So I know I might be a little, maybe a little dim. Maybe I can bring him on camera. Man, look, I'm all ready. Good. Got my Daily Red shirt on. But I think what I'm going to do is, I think what I may do, man, I think I'm going to have to go on and postpone it for this evening. But I want to be a good guest and do like they do in college, you know, at least like when you're going to postpone something, you're supposed to show up and at least make an announcement. So I ain't want to leave, because I was like, this would be the very time somebody be logging in for the first time. I'm like, man, I've been hearing about this show. I need to log in. And I hated it, man. I was trying to get out to the studio. Couldn't get to the studio, and it's storming in Georgia, man. So just one of them things. So I said, well, let me pull over to Dunkin' Donuts somewhere that got some Wi-Fi, since I can't get to the studio, and just let everybody know that we'll be back on it next Thursday from 8 to 9. Appreciate the support. And you know, that way, like in my world, so I'll give you some time back. I'll post something. Well, this will be posted out on Facebook. And then we'll get ready for, we just get ready for next week. I mean, things happen. We can't do nothing about that. But we was definitely, you know, I mean, because I get so hyped for the show. I was like a kid. I was like, man, I can't not do the show. But I get it. You know, it's a storm. We're having some technical difficulties. So we're just working through it. But definitely appreciate the support. And I guess we'll tune in next week, 8 to 9. If you want to listen to a rebroadcast, you can tune into DKM Radio, DKM Radio, and I'm losing my train of thought. DKMradio.com, and you can hear the previous broadcast. So that way, if you missed the show or you want to come check it out, you know, you could definitely go out to DKMradio.com, check out a previous episode. And what I'll do is make sure I post this and let everybody know that this week we're going to postpone this week. So this is not going to be episode 44. This is going to be episode 43.5. So you all got another week. You could be working on your budgets, looking at your credit, looking at what business you want to invest in, and think about, you know, the word of the week. And the word of the week this week is perseverance. So we persevering, trying to do it. Prime, I appreciate you joining. Big D, I appreciate you. Jeanette Sanders. See, if all these people keep joining, I'm going to have to look, I'm going to have to do the show from Dunkin' Donuts. It's going to turn into a live remote from Dunkin' Donuts. So, but you know, if y'all want to do it, we can definitely pop it off. That ain't no problem with me, because like I said, it's storming out here anyway. So, you know, however y'all want to do it, you know, I'm always willing. I already went and got me some Munchkin. I was trying to wait it out, but it didn't look like I was. Didn't look like I was gonna be able to get through here, but I am prepared and I got my stuff. I always come prepared just in case something pop off. So I guess we'll do 43.5. So as long as y'all hang, I'll hang. Ain't no problem with me. Ain't nothing but another show, another chance for me to, you know, pour into some people's lives and talk about what's going on in the world. So one of the things I want to share with you all this week was that, and this is on a serious topic, I want to make sure that as we talk about looking at different businesses, that one of the things that we don't overlook is the possibility of looking at a franchise. Let me see if I can get some more light. since we're gonna do it, let me move all my stuff. See if I can get over here in the light. Oh, there you go. Keep it. Oh yeah, that's much better. Much better. So the Dunkin' Donut crew, they'll be here until we leave anyway. So, I get the nice backdrop. Oh yeah, the nice Dunkin' Donut backdrop. So, look at that, man. We done turned it. See, it's my new sponsor, Dunkin' Donut. But one of the things I wanted to talk about was, as we think about different ways that we can leverage our talents, one of the things that you can always look at doing is start doing some research. Start doing some research and think about a franchise. Because if you think about, at our age, because that's one of the things that I'm thinking about now is, as I age, 51 years old, it's kind of difficult to just start from scratch. Me and my wife have started a business from scratch before. We had a bakery. It's called the Amazing Cakes Bakery. We had the bakery for 11 years. And the thing about being an entrepreneur and a small business is that you're learning as you go. So everything that we learned, how to run the business, how to do payroll, how to pay taxes, how to hire people, how to fire people, all of the laws, we had to learn that as we go. So now that we've aged, one of the things that I would definitely encourage people to do is to take some time out, and if you're thinking about starting a business, take some time out and do some research on maybe opening a franchise. Beautiful thing about a franchise, and I've seen people in and around Atlanta do it, in other parts of the country as well. You already know what people are going to be doing. So just like I had to pull over and come to Dunkin' Donuts, most of us know all about Dunkin' Donuts. We grew up on Dunkin' Donuts, so it's one in your area. But that's a franchise. They're going to tell you exactly how many donuts to make, how to make them, peak hours, how many people you need to hire, how to run the drive-through, everything all the way down to how to clean your store. So one of the, this week's show is sponsored. This is my sponsor. I got the sponsor, got the backdrop. We might turn this into something, man. So, but one of the things they're going to tell you everything. They're going to tell you how to run it, how to deal with a complaint. Chick-fil-A is a moneymaker. Chick-fil-A is just, only thing you got to do is get the money up. So that brought up another thing, which is, and I just left out of a McDonald's. So you can put your favorite franchise in the chat, but one of the things you want to think about too is startup capital. So one of the things that we want to get in the game, but sometimes it's a little difficult. And we've talked about barrier to entry before, and I think some franchises, they make them expensive so that way only a certain group of people can get in. So that way, and you got a serious, some serious skin in the game when you put up $1 million to open a McDonald's, and that's just to get the franchise. So you're still gonna need working capital. That's gonna probably be another $500,000 or $1 million. And then you got to hire all the people. So before it's all said and done, you could be out of $2 million, $2.5 million up front. And then you got to look at your profit margins and see what type of money would be available to you as you grow your business. So franchises, that's one of the things I've been looking at over the last, I would say 2 months. Looking at some different things, some different franchises that me and my family or me and my friends, or maybe even some of you all, if you all are interested in partnering on a franchise, just looking at ways that we can grow money in our community. So that way, if I had a way, I'll open up a Jenkins barbecue in Atlanta, but Jenkins is family owned. It's not something that's a franchise. So, I need to look at some other opportunities like a Dunkin' Donut, but I know I'm in Dunkin' Donut, but I really like Krispy Kreme, because Krispy Kreme is that's a shutdown donut. You get Krispy Kreme on your team, that's shut down. That ain't no joke. But let me be quiet, because Dunkin' Donuts showing me some love, let me hang out up in here while we had this storm in Georgia. But that was one of the things I wanted you all to, take some time and be thinking about that. Special shout out to my brother down in Jacksonville, Dwayne Callahan. He has CaliQ. So he's going to be over on, I believe he said 44th and Norwood, right behind the Wendy's. Y'all know exactly where that's at. Make sure that y'all go over there on Saturday. I think he said he's going to be over there from 11 a.m. until they sell out. So he has a great food truck, just opened it up, a huge trailer rather. Make sure you go over there and support Dwayne Callahan and his new business, CaliQ Barbecue. For those of you all that know Dwayne, he's an excellent cook, excellent chef, excellent barbecue pit master, whatever you want to, describe him as. But that's his passion, preparing and cooking food. So definitely go over there and check him out. CaliQ Barbecue, Dwayne is on Facebook as well. So, make sure that y'all go over to 40, I believe he said 44th in Norwood, right behind that Wendy's, right across from Gateway. Y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. I think that's 44. But, go and check him out, man, and support his business so that way he can get it up and off the ground and, we can get him on to some bigger and better things from a support standpoint. But definitely check out them franchises, see what's happening. So that way, maybe it's not for you. It could be like a family investment. Good magazine that you could check out, Entrepreneur. Because in Entrepreneur magazine, and we've talked about this magazine before, Entrepreneur has a lot of information on different types of franchises. So one of the things that you may be interested in, you may be interested in working with kids, you may be interested in working with elderly, maybe interested in opening up, something related to food, maybe something used clothing. Thrift stores are really, really big right now. A lot of people shop at thrift stores. I shop at thrift stores a lot because what's happening a lot of times is people, wear things 1 or 2 times and then they throw them out. So you come right behind them, get a nice suit, Sometimes you can get, nice hats, nice shirts, nice ties, belts, things of that nature. So a lot of times you can just mix and match. I might have something out the thrift store, a nice suit that I picked up, nice Brooks Brothers suit. Then I go out to the mall, hit Macy's or, somebody else get a nice shirt and a nice tie to go with it. And I just, make the suit that much better. So that's just something to think about. Shout out to my wife, Tanya Thompson. I see you just came on. And, you can just mix and match that way, from a suit standpoint, if you're in the thrift stores. But, just do your research, look at things you can get into, because as we age, one of the things that I definitely want everybody to keep in mind is this. As we age and we are getting older, you're not going to be able to get out and do the type of physical labor that you used to do, like when you was 30, 35. And I know a lot of you all, Prime used to be in the band. Prime was a big time, band member, Reebok High School, A&M. But I don't think, I don't mean to put Prime on the spot, but I'm just thinking the routines, that he used to have to do from a physical standpoint. I'm not sure maybe Prime can do it. I ain't gonna say that. Bubblehead Mike can still do those routines that he used to do at A&M, but it would be extremely physically challenging for him to do the same thing that he was doing, back in the 80s. So when we start to look at things like franchises and business that we can get into, we got to do something that we can use less physical labor and more of this, use our minds and incorporate the efforts of other people. That's a wealth building principle. You get you 3 or 4 young people, let them run it. And if you think about it, most of the franchises that you go into, McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, Dunkin' Donut, Krispy Kreme, pretty much all Captain D's, Zaxby's, most of them are being run by young people, teenagers, young adults. You might have one manager in there that may be a little older person, but the majority of people working there are young people. So with the young people being able to work there, you could be somewhere else and just having people that you manage. So that's the thing that we want to make sure that we get into, is being able to manage people in these different companies and not being the person that has to take out the trash, got to do the payroll, got to make the donuts, we're older now, we can't really do what we used to do, and we should be working a lot smarter. So we got to use our heads, put our heads together, come up with something, a franchise, or come up with something that we know won't be as physically demanding as trying to start from scratch, because starting a business from scratch is extremely difficult, and I'm telling you from experience. So just something to think about. That was one of the things that I wanted to share with you all today. Was looking at the franchise, and like I said, it's storming outside. I'm right down the street from my house. Tried to get out to the studio, couldn't get to the studio. So I said, I'm gonna just run this from the house. Start trying to get everything connected at the house to do the broadcast from the house. The signal wasn't strong enough because we had this huge storm coming in. So I was like, okay, that ain't gonna work. Came up here, ran over to the McDonald's. McDonald's signal ain't working. I guess they got too many fries going at the same time. So I ended up over here at my new sponsor, Dunkin' Donuts. so the sponsor of the Daily Bread Radio Show is going to be Dunkin' Donuts. But definitely, that was one of the things that I wanted to talk about this evening. The other thing I wanted to talk about was around just staying focused. Because now, we're going into Easter Sunday, and we'll be going into the 4th month of the year. So one of the things that I definitely wanted everybody to make sure that they stayed focused on was just the things that we said we was going to start off at the beginning of the year and working on. And I know I talk about that often, and sometimes like a lot of the feedback that I get from people is like, why you keep talking about being focused? Because the thing about being focused is that's how you get things done. Just staying focused is how you get things done. So that was one of the things that I feel like we can't talk about that enough. I think that's something that we should always be talking about, is just staying focused. Continue to stay focused, not be discouraged, not be, persuaded not to do something. And that was one of the words that's the word of the week. Because like I said, I was going to start doing a word of the week with a book of the week. And this week's word of the week is just perseverance. Perseverance. I was reading an article about a good friend of mine. His godson had the opportunity to go to college early, finished high school early, met all his requirements, so he graduated in December. So now he's, off at an SEC school playing football. And this kid technically is still in high school. This is the crazy part. Technically, he's still in high school, and he just played in a spring game at the school that he's at. He went up as a defensive end, now he moved to defensive tackle. And the first spring game that they do, he's getting a whole bunch of press because people are so impressed with the way that he's, showing his maturity. He's acting like an upperclassman. He's doing well in the classroom, doing well on the football field, and they're just amazed by his talent. But I'm saying all that to say, he's just persevering. He just achieved a state championship. The high school he went to, they won the state championship here in Georgia. And they have a great story. But instead of him like, hey, I'm gonna graduate early, I'm gonna just chill out till we get ready to graduate from high school, because they graduate in May. So he would have from December to May to just train, hang out, didn't have to go to school. But he, opted with some good leadership and support. Got him enrolled in the school early. Now he's already working towards his degree. His last semester of high school, already working towards his degree and working on the field. Perseverance. And that's what we got to have that in us as well. Like just being able to persevere no matter what comes up. Don't have the Wi-Fi at the house. Don't have the Wi-Fi at McDonald's. Got the new sponsor, Dunkin' Donuts. Just come up to Dunkin' Donuts and let it rip. And, do the things that you want to do and create the type of life that you want to have. So that was my word of the week, is perseverance. Book of the week. Let's talk about the book of the week. Now, one thing about books, and you all know how I feel about books. I'm reading a book. I've been reading it. I've read it cover to cover, and now I'm getting ready to read it again. It's a book called The Bankers. And if you all don't have a copy of this book, make sure you go out and get a copy. Oh, man. Ooh. Make sure you go out and get a copy. It's called The Banker's Code by George Antone, Antone. Man, it's storming out here. Hopefully, if the power will go out, I had to cut it short. But The Banker's Code it's called The Banker's Code by George Antone. And the reason I like this book so much is this book will give you insights into the way that banks think and operate on a daily basis. But not only are they giving you insider secrets about how banks work, how banks think, how banks set up their processes in order order for them to make money off of us, it teaches us as individuals how we can set up our own little, I guess you would call it like a miniature bank. Things that we could do to put ourselves in position to be like bankers, to act like bankers, to think like bankers, to do things like bankers, and to start to make money like bankers. And we don't have to start off making 100 million, 200 million, but an extra 10,000 will work, an extra 20,000 would work. I was reading about one couple, extra 90,000 a year, that would work, on top of whatever you're doing already. But it's a great book, and it talks about some concepts that are not being taught in school, and talk about some concepts that's not even being taught in business school. As many of you all know, I have my master's in business administration, I have my MBA in healthcare administration, but even going through grad school at a business level, well, going through graduate school at a business level, they still don't teach you the real essence of businesses and how businesses work, especially banks. Now, the one thing that you can do is go and research is banks don't go out of business. Now, we had the S&L scandal back in the early 80s when we were kids, but that was about a whole bunch of people taking a whole bunch of money and not following the rules of banking. And a lot of banks ended up going under. We had the 2008 market crash, and that took a lot of people, or a lot of banks, out of business because they were over leveraged, meaning they had too much debt and they weren't in a position when things started to go bad, they weren't in a position to make those payments on those obligations or those liabilities. So what they ended up doing was filing bankruptcy. Some of them got support from the government, and some of them just went out of business. So when you start thinking about day in and day out, when you start thinking about banks, I have to keep an eye on the storm. But as you think about businesses and banks, most people don't have the opportunity to even get into a position to act like a bank. And what I mean by act like a bank is dealing with money, dealing with loans, servicing debt payments, things of that nature. That's being a bank. And then also putting ourselves in a position where we know the inside information on how loans are approved, what type of credit score do you need at different companies in order for you to be approved for a loan before you even go to the bank. And that's why I really like credit unions, because one thing about a credit union, even if you get denied for something, if you apply for something at a credit union and they deny you, because you're a member of the credit union, you have the ability to go in and ask them why. Like, why did I get denied? And that's what really drove me into utilizing credit unions as opposed to banks, because I had been with different banks for years. SunTrust, I'm gonna just say the names, especially SunTrust. They are horrible. You could tell, if you see SunTrust, you could tell them they are horrible. But I had been banking with SunTrust for years, had all kinds of different accounts, checking, savings, money market, brokerage accounts. I go in there to apply for a loan, little small loan. I ain't talking about no $100,000, $200,000 loan. I'm talking about, what, $1,500, $2,500? That ain't no money. I mean, a little small loan that I needed. Was working with a business, needed some additional money. Went in there, credit was, it wasn't super strong, wasn't super weak, right? But I went in there, and SunTrust was, they was just so negative about the whole process. And I had been banking there for years. And I was like, yeah, but y'all know me. So how are you gonna take my money when I'm depositing, take my money when I'm paying for credit cards and stuff, but then when I need something, like a loan, you can't loan me any money? So I said, you know what? I'm off. Went off to the credit union. Well, I can tell you some credit union stories, boy. Y'all, hey, I love the credit union. That's my friend. That's my boy. That's my homie there. I went into the credit union. The first time I went to the credit union, told them what I needed. They said, well, hey, we see you trying to get reestablished. Because I'm just, and that's what we talk about on the Daily Bread radio show. I'm going to keep it transparent. I was coming out of a bankruptcy. So people, people say, oh man, if you file bankruptcy, you going to. So I'm thinking like, oh, I ain't going to be able to get nothing. I ain't going to never be able to get nothing. I'm going to be You know, it's like having a scarlet letter, you know, or having the stuff. You got to put the goddamn blood over the door, like Passover. You know what I'm saying? When I first filed, but I was like, I didn't understand the process. I didn't know what I could and couldn't do. I went to the credit union. Young lady sat me down, started telling me, she was like, hey, I know you're trying to get reestablished. This is step one. And then when you finish step one, you come back in 6 months. I'm going to take you to step two. When you finish step two, we're going to take you to step three. That was, this 2018. That was 9 years, like 9 years and 3 months ago. 9 years and 3 months ago. And if you ask me all of the things that we've been able, my wife and I, all the things we've been able to do and purchase through the credit union after a bankruptcy, it's incredible. I mean, I'm talking credit cards, cars, loans, I mean, lines of credit, whatever. Because the only thing they look, and the thing I like about the credit union is this. They look at how you managed what you have, right? And man, I'm talking about if you go in there and you say, well, hey, you only had a $500 credit card. I went back, step two, let's get you a $1,000 card. Step three, let's get you $1,500. Just went up from there. Then it just got into some crazy numbers that I wouldn't even think I would be able to do when I was going through that process. So I'm saying all that to say, don't get discouraged on where you are. Don't get discouraged by, you know, oh man, it's tight right now. I don't have this, I don't have that. Oh, I just had a repo. Oh, I just had a bankruptcy. Oh, I just had a tax lien. Oh, man, it don't matter what you have. The only thing you got to do is just step back, settle down, take a deep breath, settle down, do your research. And the word of the day is what? Perseverance. See, if I was at the studio, I'd be... Y'all know how I be getting on you know how I get on my producer. I'll be telling him, put it in the chat. Perseverance. Perseverance. It's all about how you think. It's all about what you're thinking about, how you look at life, how you think your next move is, because it ain't over. It ain't over. So credit unions, banks, credit union, big thumbs up for the credit union, because they can get you into, and then I messed around and found out. Now, if you all don't know about this, I'm gonna give you, now this right here is a big time secret. Now, I know we got some veterans that are on the line, different people that have served in different branches of the military. But let me tell you something. If you don't have this, if you, I'm not a veteran, but the criteria says veteran and their family members. Veteran, that's very important. Veteran and their family members. Let me tell you all two very important things about that. If you don't have this and you're a veteran, or your father and your mother or your brother or your sister is a veteran, and if you're not a part of this credit union, I need you to call them tonight at 9:01. When we finish here, I need you to call them and say, hey, look, brother. Hey, look, sister. Hey, look, dad. Hey, look, mom. I need your access number because I need to open up an account at Navy Federal. Oh my goodness. Navy Federal? Now you talking about shutdown? Navy Federal Credit Union, and I didn't know this, Navy Federal Credit Union is the largest credit union in the world. Navy Federal was set up by the Department Military. It was set up for the military. Department of Defense. I couldn't have a little brain pause there. Department of Defense, years ago, set it up for veterans to have access to banking needs and things that they need, so on and so forth. But the criteria, like I said, is for military, active military, retired military, and their families. So I had a family member that was in the military, and I was able to open up an account. Navy Federal is, man, when I say they lay everything out so you don't have to work, even if you got a low credit score, like a 580 or 550, 560, they will tell you up front, hey, this is the cutoff, but as soon as you get to this number, and I think it's like 575, as soon as you get here, you can get this type of loan at this interest rate. And that's all you want to know. It's like, you just want to know what's the rules to the game. Like, that's all you want to, just like playing Monopoly. You don't want nobody just, you go into a bank, they just know the nod. You don't know why they denied you. You don't know if it was your credit score. You don't know if it's the amount of money you make. You don't know if it's something on your credit. You don't know nothing. The only thing they say is no. No. Just no. Get out of here. No. Bye. See you later. But at the credit union, you can have a conversation with them. And they will tell you, like, hey, you had too many inquiries. Or, hey, you don't have enough credit. Or, hey, you haven't been established long enough. They will coach you through that and tell you what the next stop is and how you need to manage your credit, your money, your access in order for you to get into position so you can get that loan or so that you can get reestablished and do the things that you want to do without feeling like you got to be ridiculed and feeling back, oh, I had to, had a repo and, don't want to talk about it. Don't even worry about that. Don't worry about it. Just take a deep breath. Word of the day is what? Perseverance. And then you start thinking like a banker. Now, once you come out of that process, or once you go through that process and you start thinking like a banker, one of the things that bankers think like is this. Whenever you want to borrow money, right? Whenever you want to borrow money, not from an individual, but from a bank, it's going to cost you a certain amount of money to borrow the money. For example, you might be able to borrow the money, strong credit, well established. You can show that you have cash reserves, things of that nature in the bank. The bank may charge you, say, 8% to loan you money, the type of money that you want. You may want $5,000, you may want $10,000. So they may charge you 8% for this money, right? So this is a new word for the day. Something else that I want you all to go out and research, because this is how wealthy people get more money. And the word is arbitrage. 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 What is arbitrage? Arbitrage is this. Arbitrage is you just borrowed some money. It's something that's called a cost of capital, right? When you're doing business, before businesses make their final decision, they always want to look at how much is the money going to cost me? Because they know if they have to go out and raise capital, or if they have to get it from a venture capitalist, or somebody's going to invest, it's a certain amount of cost. It's a cost of money. So if the interest is 8%, say you can get 100,000 at 8. Well, let's just do small numbers first. Say if you can get 10,000 at 8, right? You can get 10,000 at 8%, but you see an investment where you can invest that 10,000 or purchase that 10,000 and make 10%. We're gonna keep the number small. You borrowed it at 8, and you're gonna take their money and you're gonna invest it and get 10%. So now your net is 2%. So you might say 2%, that ain't no money. Okay, let me ask you this. If 2% ain't no money, hey sis, I see you joining. Hey, we doing it. We getting it in where we can. I got my new sponsor, Dunkin' Donut. Had a bad storm in Georgia, so couldn't get to the studio. But I see my little big sister just joined, and one of the things about that is 2%. Because a lot of times when I'm talking to people, they say 2%. That ain't no money. 2%, that ain't no money. But let me ask you a question. If you making 0% interest on your money today, and I'm gonna give you 2%, are you gonna take it? And the reason I know this works is because this is how this game works. And you all are familiar with part of this game, but you don't know the whole game. Here's the game. You know how the banks say you got to have if you're going to make a deposit in the bank, and I can't speak for all banks or credit unions, so I'm going to just give you an example, right? Most banks say, hey, if you're going to make a deposit into your checking account, it has to be made by 2 o'clock, right? Some banks have extended it now, by close of business. So we're going to even be real liberal and say, close of business, right? Close of business. You got to put your money in the bank by close of business. So you go in there, you deposit your check in the bank. You make sure I remember back in the day, I used to be running, trying to get to the bank before 2 o'clock so the post, trying to catch a check, right? That's a whole nother story for another day, trying to catch the check. But when you deposit your money that day Thursday, you just deposit your payroll check, put your 2, 3,000, 4, 5, whatever your number is. Put your money into the bank, right? The bank, listen to this now. The bank is gonna take your money tonight. They're gonna take your money tonight. They're gonna invest your money tonight. And tomorrow, when the banks open at 9 a.m., tomorrow, they're gonna invest it tonight, and then tomorrow. They invest in it overnight. And they get fractions of a percentage, not 1 or 2%. Sometimes they might be getting 0.5%, right? Less than 1%. But guess what? They dealing with billions of dollars, and they doing it every day. They doing it every day. And that's why the banks want you to have your money in the bank, because I'm putting you up on, hey, like Jay-Z said, I'm giving y'all $1 million game for $9.99. Check this out. The other thing that banks don't want you to know is this. Listen to this. For every dollar, $1, for every dollar that's on deposit in the bank. I want you to think about this now. For every dollar that's deposited, that's on deposit in the bank at midnight or that night, right? Or the next morning. For every dollar that the bank has on deposit, they can loan out how much? How much do you think they can loan out? For every dollar. They only got $1 in the bank. So we're going to keep it real simple. The bank has $1. How much can they loan to me and you? I'm going to give you the answer. $10. For every dollar, they can loan $10. So they only got $1 in the bank, but guess what they do? They loan me and you $10, right? And then they charge us 8%, right? So now we paying 8% on $10. They only got $1 in the bank. They can't even cover the loan. If the loan had to be called, and this is what happened in 2008, if the loan had to be called, they don't even have enough money to cover the loans. But the law gives them the provision to loan out $10 for every dollar. They only got $1 in the bank. They loaning out 10. Or they may be loaning 2 loans. Loan you $5 at 8%. Loan me $5 at 12%. Right? They got huge margins. Huge margins. And they paying 1% for their money, right? And they're investing it every night. So that 2%, going back to our original example, that 2% that you're netting, you borrowed money at 8%, you found an investment where you can make 10%, you netting out 2%. That 2% can change your life. If you keep doing it over and over and over and over, and before you know it, now you're going out buying houses or buying property or buying Dunkin' Donuts franchises, right? Or Subways or Chick-fil-A's, like what we started off talking about. And guess what? You getting cheap money because your credit's strong. You did all the things that we talked about on the Daily Red Radio Show. You got strong credit, you got cash reserves, you got a nice group on paper. So you're getting cheap money. Maybe you're getting it at 4%, 5%. But if your franchise is returning you money at 7 and 8%, you ain't got to be killing them. 30%, 40%. You ain't got to do that. Because when you start doing that, you're gonna blow up something. Go and get your 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15, 20%, 30%. That's cool. Go on to get, but you got to keep doing it over and over and over and over and over. Big D said companies rather pay you bi-weekly so they can make money. Exactly. That's why they do it. Remember back in the day, they used to pay us weekly. I remember we used to get paid every Friday. Everybody used to get paid every Friday. How I know it? Because when I was a shorty, we used to be right up at that Jack's liquor store, and the bootleg man would come by, right up there, what was that, like Moncrief and, what's that, Myrtle Avenue? Be at the Jack's, I was a little jit. But that was when everybody got paid every Friday. Then they moved it to every other week, and then they moved some people to twice a month, and then some people, like teachers, they moved to once a month. So when you're dealing with the bank, we need to start thinking and doing like banks do, right? Put your money in, know what your interest is, and know what you're getting back. So that way you're investing in cryptocurrency and you're investing in all these different, you ain't got to make 200, 300% on everything you do. Some things you're going to make 200 or 300%. other things. The first rule of investing is what? Protect your principal. Make sure you can get your principal back. So that way you're not losing your money. You're not putting your $100 or your $100,000 into the investment and you got a risk of losing it. Because banks don't play that losing game. The bank don't play losing money. They don't play that game. They do not play that game. They do, listen, I'm going to say it in about 3 different languages. They do not play that game. The banks don't do it. So we shouldn't do it either. So when we going out getting into these different things that we don't understand and, oh, that sounds good, and oh, I can make money doing that. If you don't understand it, you don't need to be in it. If you can't explain it to me or to yourself, more importantly to yourself in like 2 or 3 sentences, what you're investing in, why you're investing in it, and what you're expecting to get out of it, that's speculation. And I get it. I've done it. I know people that still do it. A lot of, people who got money, sometimes they do it. That's like gambling. Some people gamble. But if you do like the banks don't gamble. The banks don't gamble. They don't gamble. They invest their money. They know exactly how much they're going to get back from you and me. They know exactly how much they're going to do. And they're not going to put themselves in a position to lose money. Most times. But they do get greedy. And that's what happened in 2008. They get over leveraged. That means they borrowed too much and they can't cover all of their positions. So that's a lot to take in, but that's one of the things that I need you all to be thinking about. So that way, when you put money, that's why if you think about 401ks, listen to this. And I got $100. I think I got $100 somewhere. I got $100 for somebody, anybody that's on this on this Facebook live feed, everybody on here, good friends of mine, and they know me. And you got my phone number, text. You can text, call me, whatever. I got $100 for you. If you invested in a 401k, like most of us are, if you invested in a 401k, and we 51, so say in 15 years, do you know exactly how much you're gonna have in your 401k in 15 years? If you keep investing in it every pay period like you're doing right now, do you know the exact number that you're gonna have in your 401k? If you do, text me, call me, we have a conversation, I'll give you the $100. This is a $100 challenge. 15 years from now, I ain't even talking about 30 years and 15 years to the day, do you know exactly how much you're gonna have in it? After the interest, after you done paid your taxes on it, how much are you gonna have? Because it's pre-tax right now, so you're gonna pay the taxes when you take it out. Pre-tax going in, tax coming out, 15 years. If you know the answer to that, give me a call, we have a conversation, and I'll make sure that you get that $100. But let me put you all up on something. The bank, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, who else is out there? Chase, SunTrust, BB&T, PNC, Georgia Municipal Bank, all of the banks. Man, look like all the power out. 'Cause we had a bad storm here. All of the banks know if you went into the bank and you looked at their books and you asked them 15 years to the day. 15 years, March 29, 15 years. What's that, like 33? I ain't good at math. 2033, 15 years from today. 2033, March the 29th. If you ask the bank, guess what the bank can tell you? Exactly how much they're going to have. They know exactly how much they're going to have. So we need to know too. So we got to be up on game. Sis, I appreciate that comment. Look, this is how it come to me. They're going to have me owning this Dunkin' Donut. That knowledge come down to me through the Creator and just come right out of here to you all. So I guess this is episode 44. We done went hard in the paint. And I wasn't even going to do it, but that's the word of the day is what? Perseverance. So make sure that you all go out, pick up this book. See? It's called The Banker's Code. Make sure you go out and pick up The Banker's Code. It's 170 pages. It's not a novel. It's 170 pages. It's like maybe 2 or 3 episodes of Empire, 2 episodes of The Chi, probably 2 or 3 episodes of Billions. But once you get this and you get up on this, here's the other thing you're gonna be able to do. You're gonna be able to turn your kids and your kids on it. Because we know babies don't stay babies forever; they become adults. So when they become adults, guess what? Now you can really put them up on something. Say, hey, nah, let me show you how to really do this thing. Let me show you how bankers do it. So that way we know how to get down, right? We not just spending, everybody trying to get rich off of us. We buying jewels and all of this. No, I'm like Ving Rhames and Baby Boy. This is about guns and butter. Guns and butter. And if y'all, I know all y'all seen Baby Boy. Ving Rhames walked in there and say, that's what's wrong with y'all young people. Y'all don't know the difference between guns and butter. We talking about guns tonight. We're talking about real estate, investments, butter. That's nothing. That's cars, clothes, jewels. That's nothing. We need to start having some money coming in so that way as we age, 10 years from now, I'll be 61 years old. What I'm going to be doing at 61? I definitely can't dunk. I already popped the ligament racing my son like 3 years ago. Thought I still could got there and run. Popped something in my knee. My knee ain't been right since. So I know if I can't run like that, I definitely can't dunk. So as we age, we just got to be smarter. We got to be smarter. And then turn around and help somebody else to be smarter. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the things that I think we definitely, we have the ability to do that. We have the capacity. And then we got a lot of money coming through our hands. So now we need to just start playing the banker's game, playing that real life Monopoly. And one of the things, if you get this book, I'm going to show you how deep this book is. Oh, man. If you get this book, in this book, the guy breaks it down. He says, look, there's only 3 positions to be in. There's only 3 positions that everybody's in. Everybody in the world. He says only 3 positions that you can be in. You can be the consumer, and that's the person that's buying the product and the services. That's the consumer. He said you could be the producer. The producer is the person that provides the service and the products. The producer is Apple. The producer is the person that's detailing your car. The producer is the McDonald's. The producer is the franchise. The producer is the real estate investor. That's the producer, right? They produce the products and services for the consumer. So it's an ecosystem, right? You need the consumer to consume and purchase things. You need the producer to be able to provide those things for them. Dishwashing liquid, toilet tissue, food. Those are things that the producer. And then the third position is the bank. The bank. The bank. He said the bank makes the most money and takes the least amount of risk from both the consumer, and they make money off the consumer and the producer. Because all these, these brothers and sisters and other people, not brothers and sisters, but just people. Oh man, I'm gonna be a real estate investor, this, that, and I'm gonna flip some houses, da-da-da. And I was thinking, I said, oh yeah, I'd flipped the house before. I'm like, damn, that is the joint. Oh my gosh. But when I read this book, the guy said, okay, when you flip the house, did you have to go get some money to flip it? I said, yeah, I did. This is what I'm saying in my mind. I wasn't talking to him. I was just reading the book thinking that. I was like, damn, I did. He said, okay. When you went to go get the loan, where did you get it from? I said, the bank. He said, how much did they charge you? I was like, they probably charged me like 10, 11% because it wasn't a hard money loan, but it was a short-term loan, just enough. I just needed enough to get the house, rehab it, and then turn around and sell the house. But that money it was a cost to that money. It was a cost to that money. That cost, that interest, listen to this. The bank let me borrow, let's say $100,000. The bank let me borrow $100,000 at 10%, and they got the 10% back on $100,000 in like 7 or 8 months. It wasn't even 10 months, because I just bought the house, rehabbed it, sold it, right? But I had to pay a cost to borrow that money from them for 6 or 7 months. They made 10%, right? So just think about how many loans they can do that to for all the people that's flipping houses, real estate investing, rehabbers. They getting 10% on their money every 6 months to 12 months. 10% per flipper. Check that out. And when they get it, and what's so gangster about it is this: they don't get the money back and sit on the money like, oh, I made 10%. Guess what they do? As soon as they get the 10% back from me, they turn around and take that same 100,000 and reinvest it with another person and get another 10% as quick as possible. That's called the velocity. Listen to this. That's called the velocity of money. The velocity of money. How fast can you make money grow? That's called velocity. The velocity of money. Man, I can't believe this. This has been a great show. And it wasn't even supposed to be no show because we had the storm, couldn't get to the studio. I said, no, I'm going to just come on here and let everybody. I was going to be a great host and say, we're not doing it tonight. We having technical difficulties. I done went to McDonald's. I done came to my new sponsor, Dunkin' Donuts. They out of donuts, but I got some munchkins. But, and look what we done had. We done had an awesome show. We done had, 53 minutes of solid information. I done gave y'all the perseverance. I done gave y'all the cost of capital. I done gave y'all the velocity of money. I done gave y'all arbitrage. I done gave you a great book that you can go and pick up. So if we don't do nothing else, tonight, we good. We good. I appreciate each one of y'all for coming on. Bubba D, you already know, man. Tanya, got there, Tanya Alford, Rhonda Broadnax, got there, Bubba Head was on, Prime. I think Pat, couldn't do it without you. Skilly, praying for your brother, man. You need to call me, man. Give me an update on Farron, because I'm definitely praying for him. I was thinking about him today. So give me a call after the broadcast, man. Give me an update. Strict, hey, man, nothing but love for you, man. Couldn't do it without the homies. Jeanette Sanders, Prime, Big D, couldn't do it without you, man. Couldn't do it without you. And one of the things that I want to say is, man, come on, man. Got them Rod Kennedy. We all we got. Bruh, come on, man. It's going to start with a little small seed. I consider myself to be a little acorn. I'm a little acorn right now. And the things that I'm working on, thinking about doing and trying to do and working on getting and putting the pieces together, one day, when we see each other, I'm going to be a huge oak tree. Not only will I be an oak tree, I'm going to be throwing off acorns, growing other oak trees. So other people going to have the opportunity to do and be and have. Be, do, and have. Be, do, and have. That's one of the things that I'm going to be working on as well. So I love this, man. This is my passion. This is what I feel like this is what I was created to do. And if I wasn't doing it for an hour, I could do it for 2 hours. But I was kind of hoping I could get in the studio. I have to keep looking, man, because we got this storm out here. But only thing we got to do is use this medium. That's all we got to do is use this technology, spread the word. You know, I ain't going to be on it. I always joke with my family about that. I ain't going to be on it. You ain't got to worry about coming on a Daily Bread radio show and be twerking. But, you know, I come dressed for it. Look, got the Daily Bread t-shirt, got the Daily Bread sweatshirts. So if y'all want to get a t-shirt, the t-shirt is $15. You know, hit me up. T-shirts are $15, the sweatshirts are $30. And part of those proceeds are going to help college students to graduate. We getting into that season. So I'm hitting y'all up in April. Hey, I'm going on to tell you, I know I'm just trying to give everybody time to get their tax refund in hand. So when I come and ask you for them $10 or them 15s or them 20s or them, oh, you want to see the shirt? Look at that, bro. Look at that logo. That's the Daily Bread. That's the Daily Bread radio show. Daily Bread radio show. Got the logo. Got the nonprofit logo going, American Financial Literacy. So we just, that's what you got to do. Look, and this is all I wear. Like, if I don't have to go into the office, bro, I'm gonna have this shirt on. I'm gonna have American Financial Literacy, and you should do the same thing too. You should take a few $100 Create you a logo. Your logo might be like, I'm the man, or I'm the woman, hey, whatever. You come up with your, your G thing or whatever it is, and you wear that every day. This your brand. This is you, right? This like LeVar Ball, big baller brand. Every time you see him, he got them 3 B's on. But what it will do for you is it will empower and inspire you to, like, you know what? Even if you don't have a business already, if you wear this every day, guess what? You gonna get something gonna happen. Something's gonna happen. The only thing you got to do is be your own. Look, that's where this came from. This Dunkin' Donuts wasn't always here. Somebody had to sit down and was like, you know what? Come up with a donut shop. Sell me some donuts. Somebody else said, what? Man, you ain't gonna do that. You too old. You ain't got no money. Your parents ain't got no money. Your brother in jail. Your sister this. Your mama is that. I'm gonna sell me some donuts. I'm gonna get me a Dunkin' Donuts and start me like, that's a stupid name, Dunkin' Donuts. That ain't gonna work. And guess what they did? Did it. Created their little Dunkin' Donut logo. Put them 2 D's. Now they selling donuts all over the world. Donuts. Something as simple as that. So I would definitely encourage you to create your t-shirt. If you need me to give you some help, I can get you some. I got the graphic artist. I got the t-shirt manufacturer. It ain't gonna cost you an arm and a leg. And wear your gear. I mean, we walk around with all these other people's name on our chest. Polo, and I don't even know no Polo. I don't know no Tommy Hilfiger. I don't know whatever else people wearing right now, But I know this is me, and I want you to wear you. So that way when you go out, you're like, hey, just some positive words. Just like, hey, man, I got this. I got this. Something simple as that, man. We wear teams, and that's my college. Wear you. Get into wearing you. Who are you? Wear you. Wear you. Get you some you wear, right? But I appreciate all the love, man. I appreciate the support because, y'all just don't know how much juice y'all give me every week to come in, think about this different stuff, think about what I want to say, think about how I want to say it. This Sunday, it's not this Sunday. It's next Sunday. Next Sunday, I'm doing a event for some young men that are part of the Kappa League, and they invited me to come out, talk to them about personal finance. They purchased some books. They're going to purchase some more books. So I'm going to go out and talk to them. These are some young men that are in a special program in the Kappa League and, getting ready to go to college. So I'm going to go talk to them get them the real about money. They think college is just about going and, chasing girls and doing. I'm like, nah, bro, you about to enter to a serious business agreement that will not go away. The only way you can get out of that is die or pay it back. And you get ready to get introduced to it. Really, really introduced to it. So I'm gonna go over and talk to them young brothers, and hopefully I'll say something that'll just stick. Because everything that you say to young people, it might just, but you only want 1 or 2 things that just catch on and stick and be like, man, I remember this man came and told me, he told me, always keep my credit straight so that way I can leverage my money and get me some arbitrage and help my people out. So that's what I'll be doing on the 8th, the Kappa League. Did a couple of events 2 weeks ago with the AKAs. Was a guest speaker on financial literacy at their financial literacy event. Had a great time there. Just haven't posted the pictures, but got an award. They gave me an award. That was Omega, chapter of AKA, the AKA chapter of Omega, Sigma Omega. They gonna wood me up, but I'll get it right. But I went out and supported those sisters as they was trying to do good in the neighborhood as well. So guess what? We at the top of the hour. I appreciate everybody hanging out with me. The storm is still going on. I'm going to take it to the house. Didn't get it to the studio, but we did it right where we was at. And I'm going to inspire you all. Do it right where you at. You ain't got to worry about everything ain't going to be green. You ain't got to have all the studio and equipment. Man, you can stop right by your local Dunkin' Donut. You stop by your local Dunkin' Donut. If the storm stops, you just keep going. Just do whatever you do right there. Set yourself on fire and people coming. They'll come and watch you burn. So y'all have a beautiful week. I appreciate all the love. And keep doing what you're doing. Share this message with a couple people, maybe a couple thousand, that'll help me out. But whatever you do, tune in next Thursday from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Might even come back to Dunkin' Donut. It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool here. I mean, nice staff. Got my Dunkin' Donuts. Just need to get some milk on it, and we'll go from there. But y'all have a blessed week, man, and keep focus on you. Focus on you where you, and do what you're going to do right where you are. Daily Bread Radio Show. This is Joaquin. I'm out. Peace.